Hey, what's up, everybody? I just wanted to come to you with some laws that have passed recently about AI calling. There's quite a buzz going around it. There's misinterpretation of what's going on, and so hopefully I can bring a little clarity. Of course, I have to say I'm not an attorney, so don't take this as advice, but I'm going to try to present facts and make things a little bit more clear for those of you that are using Air.ai or any sort of AI conversational technology for making phone calls. So the buzz is basically the FCC had to pass a law very quickly. There's a thing going on called deep fakes, where AI is cloning voices, it's cloning voices to use on calls and in videos, cloning humans to look real, and it's making advertisements and claims, all sorts of fraudulent things going on. So it's a good thing they're making restrictions to this. There's a lot of bad that we need to stop. It is causing people to get confused on what is legal and what's not legal. So, for example, just to tell you guys where this started from, if you don't already know, here's the article officially released by the FCC, but it says in January, potential primary voters in New Hampshire received a call reportedly from President Biden telling them to stay home, save your vote by skipping the state's primary. The voice call and the voice on the call sounded like presidents, but of course it wasn't. Those were voice cloning calls. So you can see right here, this is an example of a deep fake, totally fraudulent and trying to uh, do something obviously they shouldn't be doing. There's plenty of good that can be done with AI calling, but this is an example of how we abuse our tools and now they have to make laws around it, which just makes things harder. So if we go to the top of this article, we can see very clearly in the introduction, it says, in this declaratory ruling, we confirm that the TCPA's restrictions of the use of artificial or pre-recorded voice, it says or, encompass current AI technologies that generate human voices. As a result, calls that use such technologies fall underneath the TCPA and Commission's implementing rules and therefore require the prior consent of the party called to initiate. So it's called uh, absent an emergency purpose exemption, which means basically you can use this for emergency purposes, but other than that, it is not exempt. Now, there is some other facts here. I have a facts page here pulled up. It says here, um, just some other rules. It requires business to obtain written consent as well. We just read that. Consent can include website forms, a telephone, a recording of oral consent. Uh, of course, you have to state that the call is being recorded if you want to utilize that. Let's see here. What are the consent requirements? Must have prior written consent. Let's see here. It says it does not no longer can you use an established, quote unquote, established business relationship. So you do have to have written consent. You can't just consider that you've had previous business relationship. Let's see here. I wanted to get down to the exempts right here. Market research or polling calls to residential wire numbers are not restricted by the FCC rules, nor are calls on behalf of a tax exempt or non-for-profit. So these are the guys that are exempt from these rules that you can call no matter what. The rules do require all pre-recorded calls, including market research or polling calls, to identify the caller at the beginning. So there are some stipulations there. But to sum this all up, we've, cold calling to market your product or to advertise your services without the permission of people has always been illegal. And Air.ai has always said that when you're using their technology and even when you start a campaign, there's a little disclaimer there that you have to agree to, but they've always required that you have to have consent. So all this means, guys, is that, just like with the 10DLC, the A2P for texting, you just need to add it to your website forms. If you're getting leads, make sure you put on there that that you're asking for consent to utilize these types of technologies. You can use it for follow-up. It's fantastic for that. None of this even matters if you're using it for inbound calls. There's a huge use case for using this as a 24-hour inbound live call service. They already provide consent if they're calling your number and your business is using this to answer. So you don't need to do anything if it's inbound. strictly just outbound. You simply just need to get their permission. So just wanted to go over that. Obviously, there's a lot of buzz, a lot of talk. Is all AI calling illegal? Absolutely not. The headlines will say that stuff or say certain wording. Obviously, you know that they exaggerate things just to get your attention. So hopefully this sheds a little light on what's going on. Absolutely not illegal. Actually, not a lot changes if you're already providing, asking for consent. There is a little gray area if you're one of my real estate peeps, just as always. Now, again, don't take this as legal advice, but there's always been a gray area in real estate. If you're an investor and you're reaching out to consumers to ask them if they would potentially want to sell their house, people argue that you're not marketing a service or a product, you're not advertising, you're simply offering money just to see if they might consider selling. Again, consult an attorney. People have got around the rules in that scenario, and not saying that they've got around the rules, just saying that the specific rules of soliciting, people have said that doesn't pertain because of that type of call. Again, take that as just what I've heard people say. It's not legal advice, but you know, you may or may not still be able to use this for real estate cold calling, depending on how your attorney interprets this. But for all other businesses, when you're asking to provide a service or market it, anything, if it's a cold call, it's 100% illegal. You have to get consent, and you just need to be doing that through the proper forms or oral consent, like it stated on here. So hope that helps shed some light and makes things a little bit more clear for you guys. Have a good day.